Got it. I'm just gonna try to, let's see. And there's also a little delay from Zoom to YouTube. Hello out there. There we are. Do you see me, Khadija?
I don't. Your screen is black. Just your name.
Hi, Ariana. And there's also a little delay from to. I wonder why. Hello out there. Give me a second, everybody out there in Zoom. Do you see me, Khadija?
I don't. Your screen is black. Just your name.
Hi, Ariana. Also a little delay. Hold on 1 second. I wonder why. Hello out there. Give me a second, everybody out there. It's see me, Khadija? I don't. Hi, Ariana. Also a little delay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I see Khadija. Okay, everybody, give me a second. I'm gonna leave YouTube here for a second, if I can, and we'll come right back. Okay, I see Khadija. Okay, everybody, give me a second. I'm gonna leave YouTube here for a second, if I can, and we'll come right back. Oh, I think I know what to do now. Okay. Can you see me now? Okay. Are we still on YouTube? I do not know what's going on, everybody. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay, and we're back. Okay. Let me just make sure this is going and we will get started. Thank you for your patience, darling Khadija. Can you see me now? Okay, are we still on YouTube? Okay, welcome everybody. We are here with Live with Roxanne and the one and only Khadija, live with us from Denver, Colorado. And this has been a much anticipated interview. I've been trying to get you on here for quite a while, and I'm so glad we were able to finally connect. And I see some folks out there watching us. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat on YouTube, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have for us. So we're going to get started. I obviously am Roxanne, and I am doing this series of interviews in order to provide a platform and share the knowledge and experiences of dancers of Menat origin. And for those of you out there who is like, what is Menat? Menat is an acronym that stands for the Middle East, North Africa. The H is for Hellas or Greece. and Turkey. And so in my live conversations, I am featuring dancers from the Manat region, and we've had several so far, so you can keep looking at my YouTube channel for past interviews. And today we are interviewing the wonderful Khadija. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to ask you, Khadija, to just tell us about yourself. Who is Khadija? What is your background? Tell us all about it.
Hi. Wow. First, I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited for this. And مرة مبسوطة الحين. Like, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
أهلا وسهلا.
أهلا بكم. Wow. For me, what about me? It's hard to sum everything up in one group, but I'll try to make a Cliff Notes version of myself. I am Khadija. I live here in Denver, Colorado. I was originally born in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. My lineage is from Kenya, and
Wow.
I'm very proud of that.
Did not know that.
Yeah, my lineage is Kenyan, yes. So I apologize in advance, everybody. I'm getting over some allergies, so my voice is a little scratchy, so I am sorry. So if I cough or drink something, excuse me. But yes, that is my lineage, so very proud of that. What about me? I am here in Denver, Colorado. Anyone that knows me knows I love animals. I've dedicated my life to animals. Specifically, my specialty is veterinary emergency. So I went to college for equine, and those that know me know that I absolutely love horses. So that is my passion, my second, I would say my equal passion, because dance is one of my passions as well. A little bit about me. I've been living in Denver since, I graduated from my veterinary programs, and everything worked out good here for me. So I ended up staying. So alhamdulillah for everything. Colorado is interesting. I've definitely seen the ups and downs of things here, but Colorado is where my home is now. A little bit about me. Oh boy, I am a woman of many talents. I like people to think that I am not a one-trick pony. I often surprise people a lot. I have various hobbies, and I have various talents that keep me very busy. With that being said, my dance, I think you were asking about my dancing, how I get started, is a very interesting story because my background, basically my father is an engineer, so he is very serious, very serious. So going to education is huge in my family, and making sure education is number one. But in the flip side of my family, I also have musical people in my family, like some singers, not famous singers, but my mom can play the drums, my father can play like saxophone and horn instruments, So, and he was also a boxer, professional boxer back in his day, and he used to train in Brazil. And I know you're half Brazilian, so you appreciate this.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one of my many talents also, is that I am a huge advocate of the UFC. I'm a huge advocate of Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. I do that regularly. So I one of my passions also. But where I was going with that was, my father was, very, very serious about education. And, I came to, when I had an opportunity to study, growing up, before the kingdom became very strict, very Islamic, it was you know, we could watch old movies, like old black and white movies, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, mashallah, these dancers are so gorgeous, you know, watching Samia Gamal, Tahia Karaoke,
Mm.
you know, watching all of these, you know, classics. You know, everybody love Egyptian movies, even though some
Oh,
Lebanese played, but everybody love classic, you know? So I loved watching these classics, and I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. And you know, with my sister and you know my brother, and I would try to like move around like them, and you know, my sister's like, okay, girl, you should probably sit down before you hurt yourself. This is not for you. And I'm just like, "Pff, I love this. You know, I love this so much. And you know, growing up and seeing it on TV, and of course anytime there's weddings and wedding parties, you know, I was fortunate to see, depending on where we went regionally, I was able to observe the dancing. And so I picked up the majority of my dancing from parties, gatherings, especially weddings. So when I said to myself, I said, as soon as I get an opportunity, I'm going to take some classes, you know, and just see. So I moved here from Colorado. I moved here from Florida. I used to live in Florida. And
okay.
so some of my original teachers were in Florida. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll take a class, you know, and just kind of see how it is. But, you know, my father still back home. My mother is here. You know, my mother's like, I'm sorry, in Florida. So my mother's like, you know, oh, get married, have kids, you know, this typical, excuse me, the mother mentality for their daughters, you know. So I was just like, you know, and, you know, Mama, who is my grandmother, she's the elder in my family. She is now deceased for 2 years now.
Oh,
May Allah be pleased with her.
Herma.
Thank you. Uh, and uh, and so she was the one that's like, if you want to dance, dance. It's okay, dance. Because she was really into ballet growing up. So,
Ah,
yes, excuse me. So she was really into ballet growing up. And so it just really just inspired me. I saw like old, you know, pictures of her in like ballet clothes and like posing. And I'm like, Mama, that's you? And she's like, yeah, this is me. And so that was really inspiring for me. And so, you know, I kept thinking in the back of my mind, I have to keep going, I have to keep going. But when I came it was when I came to Denver, is when I really got serious about dance. And for me, like I said, I was always active. My father was very athletic. So I was very athletic growing up. I loved to run, all of that good stuff. I love all sports, you name it. I love all of it. Swimming, tennis, football, all of it. I loved it. And mostly like the UFC and wrestling and the contact sports. I love this a lot also. But when I came to Colorado is when I got serious and I said, okay, you know, I was in college and I'm like, well, I'm going to take some classes just for exercise. Nothing crazy. I'm going to just take for sport, you know. I'm not going to nothing's gonna come out of this. Like wallah, like nothing's gonna come out of this. I swear. It is gonna be just for exercise, nothing more.
uh-huh.
On the hold. So
Sure.
going, kept discovering, wow, this is becoming like embedded in me. Like I cannot leave this alone. So I said, okay, I'm gonna keep going. So I kept going. And so, you know, the more I kept in my classes, and I mean, I took classes for years, and I'm thinking, just for exercise, just for sport, I'm not gonna do anything with this, just for exercise.
Mhm.
So I had an opportunity to perform, and I was like, okay, fine, you know. And people, they see me and they said, wow, I like your style. And I'm like, thank you. I didn't really think that I had a style because I originally feel like I was copying my teacher's style because I heard from other teachers here, oh, you look just like your teacher, you dancing like your teacher. And so I didn't think anything of it, you know. but I just kept taking more and more classes. And for me, you know, going back to the old black and white movies, and I meant to include it also for me started as kind of like an after school program growing up. Like dancing back home is not a thing, especially in public.
Right.
So I had an old Egyptian teacher named Miriam that was just overseeing the girls, and she would teach us a little something. It wasn't
Mm.
the hip circle or something, hip drop from my memory. And so every time I see the old black and white movies and every time I got into classes as an adult, I was like, wow, it just feels so good. So moving forward, I I decided that there's something more to this dance love. I decided to just venture out and explore like folkloric dancing. And I said, I always thought from my growing up and from my background, like you get to know a culture by how the people are dancing.
Absolutely.
One of the ways to get to know people is how they move and they incorporate everyday life into their style. So I said, there has to be something else. I always love Egyptian people. I always love
Mm.
the movies. Egyptian people are so funny and I love the music. And
Yeah.
when I could hear the music, and I always love the dancing and the videos, the cinema. And I'm like, wow, so funny and so fun and just upbeat. And so I said, I really have to explore more of this. So as I got more and more into the dancing, folkloric style, there was a local festival here in Denver called the People's Fair. And so there's lots of food vendors, there's lots of dancing on various stages. People from everywhere, international people, but based mostly in Denver, would showcase like some kind of ethnic talent from their culture. So,
Uh,
yeah, so I was
right.
introduced and asked to accompany a local Turkish style dancer here in Denver. And she says, well, you're from KSA, right? And I said, yes. She goes, you know Khaliji dance? I was like, of course. Like, what kind? Like, of course. There's many kinds. What kind you want to see? Excuse me. So she's like, yeah, would you like to do a duet with me on stage? And I said, me? With you? In all the clothes? No way. You don't want to see me in all of these clothes. Like these people, they want to see the bedla, they want to see outer, they want to see stomach, they want to see the girls be glitzy and glamorous. And I was like, nobody want to see girls do like this all the time.
Right.
Nobody want to see this. So I said, okay, fine. You want to do? Let's do it together. So I first time I ever performed Khaliji in public here in Denver. This was many, 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 many years ago. And people were like, wow, oh my God, what was that you did? That was amazing. How do you do that with your hair? How do you move like that? What is this dress? What is this music? Everybody had many questions. And I said, really? You are interested in what I just did? Like, because I didn't think that people were interested in that because I thought, most people like the girls and, the two bedla costume, the two pieces, showing more skin. I didn't show any skin. The local dancer who make invitation for me, she didn't show any skin. And so I was like, wow, you guys really like that. So as time went on, people started asking more about, this dancing, this hair dance. And I have to correct people and say it's a Khaliji style. Many styles from North Africa and beyond have hair in their
True.
incorporated in their dancing. So it was a bit of education every time I had the opportunity to dance. Excuse me. So, as time went on, and many people would be asking, and I said, okay, no problem. I can make something for you. It's no problem. So, I didn't think in a million years people would be interested and seeing Khaliji style dancing. And for me, that's where it really started from, was that one invitation. And ever since then, people became more and more interested. And I noticed in the dance community, maybe a few dancers were incorporating this style into their dancing, but it was very different from what I grew up. But there's very different styles, and of course, we can talk about this maybe later.
For
But
sure.
I was just completely blown away that people were so interested in seeing a girl with all of this hair in long cloth in the hot, dancing around, doing something. I said, oh my God, this is crazy. So for me, that's kind of where it all started from there.
Wow. And you know what's funny? We travel in the same circles, I think, in the dance world. And I feel like I know you so well, and I'm learning so much from you just in the few minutes that we've been talking. And so I want to just touch on something that you mentioned about being growing up in Jeddah. And so your professional dance life didn't start until after that when you came to the United States. But as a woman living in Jeddah, growing up there, you grew up dancing the traditional dances.
Yes, 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 of course. But it was not like public, like here, of course. We have our national day. Of course, you can see it's mostly men that are dancing, but
Right.
we have our national day that they will allow some dancing in the kingdom, but it's generally like you're drawing attention to yourself. You can get in a lot of trouble. But dancing was a double-edged sword back home too, because everybody loved the music. Like little girls, okay, fine, you get up and you can dance, but as adult, maybe even as teenager, you know, your cousin can go, or your best friend can go, her aunt can go, her grandmother can go, but anybody from the family, no, you cannot go. Like you sit in your chair, you be shy, you can dance
Right.
in your chair, but don't get up to dance. But I observed a lot growing up, and I observed a lot getting up to being pushed into the dancing. Like, oh, let's go. No, 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 I can't. I'm gonna sit. Pushing people. No, 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 I'm gonna sit. And so maybe just 5 seconds of something, and then you go sit right back down because you don't want to be the talk. You don't want to bring shame for anybody. You don't want to be this girl, that is dancing in front of everyone. Even though it's all women party. There's only us there. But
Right.
no, 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 no. It cannot be you. It can be your best friend aunt. It could be her best friend aunt. It could be her sister-in-law. But don't you dare get up to dance. And observation is all I really had to take with me.
Yes, and you're not alone in having gone through that, because I think that's something that throughout the Manat region we have to be demure. We have to be, like you said, very shy and polite. And when I take my students to, an event with Middle Eastern people, I have to tell them, like, you can't just like jump out there and start dancing. There's this, you have to say, no, 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 like 2 or 3 times until someone pulls you out. And then you can, dance a little bit and then sit right back down.
Exactly.
Because of all of those, all of those feelings of, there are a lot of commonalities across the region,
Absolutely.
of people of the culture, right?
Absolutely. It's a total double-edged sword. It's a total double-edged sword. It really is. And you really want to, God, the music. Whew, because you have live music in Tagaga's singers. Oh, oh, it gets you right here, right here. It's like You know, you
Yeah.
just want to just do something, you know, sit in your chair and you're just like, oh my gosh, oh, especially if dance is in you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people, yeah, it's like, oh, let the little 5, 6-year-old girls get up and swing around and like dance around. But it's like, what about me? I want to get up. But it's like, no, you don't want to bring attention. So this was very hard,
Right.
very hard.
And I don't know if I would imagine these things happen too, but there's always, they take the little girls and put them up on a table and everybody gets around and cheers and claps and, you get used to that wonderful
And they're
feeling.
good.
And
These children are amazing
oh
dancers.
yeah,
Wow, mashallah. Like they are so good. Like so good. Yes, very, very
until
good dancers.
until they're about 8 or so years old, and then it's like no more. Khalas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
خلاص. خلاص. Exactly.
Yeah. And so and please, if you don't feel comfortable talking about something, just let me know. Even though we talked about the questions, as we're talking, other questions are popping into my mind.
Okay.
So how does your family react to your being a professional dancer?
Well, I'll be flat out honest. Many don't know. Many don't know.
Yeah.
Mama knew about my dancing. She highly encouraged me to keep going. She highly said she sees something in me that is rare. Um, and she was the first to tell me she sees something very special in me. And I keep carrying her words in my mind and in my heart as an adult. But most of my family don't know. So it's important I protect my family name. So I don't have connection with them in the social media at all. I don't post a lot of personal things because I am a private person to say also, but I like to keep my family life separated. And I feel that that is fair with them. Like if somebody, they have a problem from me being a dancer, okay, you come talk to me, but leave my family. They didn't make the decision for me. I make the decision for myself to become this person and to become a dancer professional. But many of them don't know still.
That's so hard, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard because I love what I do, and I know we're gonna talk a little bit about
Oh yeah.
things surrounding why I started the dancing, but for me, dancing. Wow, dancing was a way of connecting me back to home, connecting me back to my heritage, because my heritage in African people is really embedded in Khaliji culture, is really embedded in Khaliji dancing. Many people, they don't want to admit this way, but Africa is in our blood, whether they brought us or not. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's in our blood and it's in me, and it's like, wow, as much as I just really want to just stand on the mountain and just shout it out, it's like I have to have respect, because it's that double-edged sword. Culturally, you don't want to be looked at as this this wild woman, this crazy woman. Nobody's gonna marry you because you're doing this dancing, and it's just like people don't understand. For me, this is my life. Alhamdulillah for everything. Allah has blessed me with many things. Another thing is that people, they ask me how you're gonna be Muslim and be a dancer. We can always talk about that later.
Sure.
But first, I tell people I am Muslim. I am human. Then I'm a dancer. You know, and
Absolutely.
and for me, this dancing brought many things to me. This dancing has, I always say, dancing for me, I dance because I have to, not necessarily because I want to. Because there's so many layers of this dance that has really, I can't even find words to describe. There's so many things in this dance that has saved my life.
Wow.
Yeah, yes. So when people they say, I congratulate my haters too. I have, believe it or not, I have haters out there too. I congratulate them. Many people they throw stones on me. It's okay. I'm gonna build my house. You're gonna throw dirt on me. It's okay. I'm gonna grow my flowers. You're gonna rain on me. I'm gonna grow my garden.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to use
Yeah.
that.
It's okay. It's words from Mama. She coming through me right now. She used to say these things. When people say bad things on you, it's okay. It's a reflection of them, has nothing to do with you as a person. I feel this dancing saved my life, and I owe it to myself. I owe it to my culture. I owe it to my ancestors to keep going. Because what's going to happen is they're going to stop writing the books. They're going to stop making the music. The ladies are going to stop dancing. I'm not saying I am ambassador of this dance. I just do it because it feels good for me. And when I say that this dance really saved my life, this dance really saved my life. And a little bit, even though I'm a private person, but a little bit about that is, especially after Mama passed away, I get deep into depression. I slide so deep into a depression, I didn't know how I was going to come back from that. I those that are very close to me, really helped me through all of this. But when she passed away, it's like I lose everything. It's like my life. It's like I didn't know what was gonna what I was gonna turn to. What was I gonna do? And so I always remember her words: "Show them who you are. Show them exactly who you are. Never give up. Don't stop your dancing. Never give up." She always say these words to me. She goes, I mean, when I told the story about how I would mimic the golden era dancers in the
Yeah.
black and white TV, and I would try to mimic in front of my sister and my brother, they're like, "You need to sit down." My grandmother, Mama, she would be clapping for me. She's like, "Oh, right. This is great." She would be clapping for me. And
That's
every single
wonderful.
time I think about stopping my dancing, or I think about people, they say maybe some bad things on me, I think about Mama, she clapping for me, just keep going. Every once in a while in my dream, she gonna come visit me and she tell me
Oh,
never
yeah.
stop dancing. All the time.
And how wonderful that you had her
Yes.
to motivate you and keep you going. And I'm so sorry. I know how that loss can be, so profound. I was the same way with, when my father passed away, and thank God for dance. I mean, I believe I'm with you 100%. The healing powers of dance is a whole nother subject we can get into, but I think all of our dancer friends out there can totally relate to that power.
Absolutely.
And you know the shirt you have on,
Oh,
support the culture, I love that. I had to put my glasses on, now I could see what it says, and I'm like, that's right, support the culture, I love it. And you're one of those dancers that, for me, I was kind of, I've been in the belly dance world or in the Middle Eastern dance world my whole life. And, you know, for a while it was all just, cabaret, belly dance, or tribal. There wasn't a whole lot of folklore, or folklore being done by actually people of the culture. There were great ambassadors of dancers who went to the Middle East, who studied, who brought back, what they learned, but actual dancers of the culture who've been raised and, uh, danced these dances their whole life, there were very few. And then when I saw you, I was like, this girl, because I have a passion for Khaliji, dance Khaliji style. And just, to provide a little background, my family's Lebanese, but my father owned a nightclub. And so growing up as a child, we always had people from the Gulf coming through and getting to dance with the people of the culture. I've always had like a really special place in my heart for Khaliji. And what I knew of it was like, okay, you'd have a belly dancer in a belly dance costume, and maybe she would put on her thobe over her belly dance costume and do some Khaliji. But I remember seeing you at a festival here. I think it was with Ida Noor, like 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And when you came out and you had the traditional clothing, you were, arms covered, long sleeves, with your beautifully decorated thobe over it, and, all your jewelry and all that wonderfulness. I was like, it just grabbed me, like, this is the real thing. And how lucky are we to have you in our dance world to provide that? And I know for me, it gave me permission, like, I can wear the traditional clothes and still perform, and people still enjoy it, and it doesn't have to always be, not that there's anything wrong with it, but to provide a different perspective, right? And do the folklore in the real costume.
Absolutely.
And so I credit you for that. And you are one of those people that's holding down the culture and is really vocal about it. You are sharing, because not only the dance and the culture, but the religion.
Absolutely.
Which is important too. And so my question, sorry for talking so long.
It's okay.
Do you feel a responsibility to the dance that you do, to your folkloric style, and sharing that with the dance world?
I feel a responsibility not only to the dance world, but to my ancestors. I know this sounds cliche or woo-woo, but, and for me, when you have African blood, they speak to us. They really speak through us. And so for me, I felt like there were so many misconceptions coming into the belly dance community, because in the beginning, like I said, I didn't expect to be a part of the belly dance community. I wanted to be one of those girls in the shiny costumes and bedla. I just wanted to be glamorous like this, But the more I get into folklore and the more that I got into people wanting to know more about Khaliji culture, people wanted to know more and more and more. I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, people are really interested in this. Holy smokes. Like it really took me by surprise. And I said, okay. I said, you want to learn? I'm going to teach you. I don't care if even one student show up. I'm going to teach this student. Because if somebody show me that they have the will and the want for education, I will melt in your hand. Like, I love this. I love this because one thing people need to understand is that Khaliji is not just describing the dance. Khalij can describe many things within the Gulf, and it's a way of life. And we have folklore within our folklore. It's not just the hair. This is a special style of folklore. Not all Khaliji dances incorporates hair. And so as I started teaching more, people started wanting to know more information. And I'm like, okay, I am just from one region, but I know about other regions in KSA, but I am happy to give you musicality. I've coached drummers, musicians, you name it. People, they send me questions, no problem. I do feel that when I first, repeating a little bit of what I said earlier, I do feel when I first came to the community that people had really far out, bizarre fantasy about what they think Gulf people are. So people, they kind of like look at me, they're like, oh, okay, because whether people know it or not, Saudi people are pretty dark. We are pretty dark in complexion. We have very heavy African influence. People, they look and they're like, you sure? I'm like, oh, wallahi alam. I know I am sure. Allah knows I am sure. And so they're just like, wow, I've never seen a star like this. Where does this come from? And things just keep piling, coming up from there, because people are very eager in wanting to know more. And so I said, okay, if you want to learn, I will teach you. But it was a very interesting approach because I got on YouTube and oh boy, boy, will you see the things on YouTube. And I said, oh, wow, that is interesting. I never want to, excuse me, I never want to make myself like the Khaliji police because I am not. I am not. I know what I have seen growing up. I know what I love to do. I know what I love in my heart. I know what I've seen the women do. I am not going to police anyone. If you're going to ask me for my opinion, I say, okay, I'm going to help you. If you want to become better with technique, musicality, your clothing style, your garment style. I don't like to refer to the thob nishal as costume because we don't play dress up. This is our way of life, So I refer to as garments or our dress. In thob in Arabic means dress. So I do feel anybody want to learn from me, I have a responsibility to teach them. Absolutely. And anytime I have opportunity to perform any style of the Khaliji way, this opportunity for me for education to help stop the misconception of what people think is surrounding Khaliji culture and people and way of life. So I have big shoes. So I have very big shoes to wear when it comes to being on the stage and being in the classroom and delivering information. Absolutely.
Well, we're so blessed to have you as part of our community and sharing what you know, because there's not a lot, especially about Khaliji. There's not a lot, about the dress, about the culture. And so it's wonderful that you can share what you know. I'm going to go a little deeper and ask maybe a more sensitive question. Can you talk a little bit about being a Black woman in our dance world and what that's like and whatever else you want to talk about on that subject?
Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. I think this question is very pertinent, important during this political time that we are in. And we know, as the culture, we have our own set of problems at home. Okay? So we know colorism is a thing in the Arabic world, in North Africa, all the way through Central Asia. It's colorism all over the world, because the reason why I do this dance, Roxanne, is because I want people to stop thinking all people from the African diaspora are one monolith.
Yes.
We are not.
Thank God.
We are not. Alhamdulillah, Allah has made us all different. Allah has made us all different. And the point that I'm trying to make in my dancing, at first when I started coming out into the community with my dancing, I was not political at all. And then I noticed people would rather hire the white dancer that has no technique, no knowledge, working knowledge of Khaliji culture over someone like me. And so I noticed that was happening a lot in the festivals, regardless if it is in Egypt, in Arabic worlds, in Arabic countries, and especially here in United States, they tend to hire dancers not even of the culture to represent the culture. And I said, wow, how is this way? Like, how is this okay? You know, but even being black and back home, you know, we there are certain things we can get away with. Even if everybody know the famous singer Itab. Okay, everybody know about her. She was black. Of course, she moved to Egypt and she married Egyptian man. She did most of her recordings in Kuwait, but she was able to get on TV, her short sleeve shirt, her poofy dress, and dance. Just dance around. People were like, "Oh my God, mashallah, I love her." It's I don't like to compare culture, but just to give an analogy.
Yes.
It's the same. We have many talented black artists in the Gulf, other than Jazzy Tab. Okay, think about sports here in United States. We love the football, Monday Night Football. We love the basketball. We love watching track. Track and field is a
Mhm.
huge thing right now because of the young lady, Shakari
Yes.
Jackson, I believe is her name. But we love watching. And 90 to 95% of the bodies in the sports are black people or people of the African diaspora. So it's okay to entertain. It's okay to put on a show. It's okay to, wine us and dine us and all of that. But whoa, you cannot be my friend. You cannot sit at my table. You cannot marry my son. You cannot marry my daughter. Why? You can watch our sports. You can bet on us. You can buy our albums. You can make your hair style like us. You make dark makeup like us.
Hmm.
But we're not good enough to marry your daughter. You're not good to marry your son. But we can entertain you. So it's the same concept back in the Gulf. I can specifically speak for KSA. I cannot specifically
Right.
speak for any other area in the GCC, basically, or the Gulf Coast, basically. But that's how it feels for me. This is my opinion, how it feels for me. It's like it's okay to be entertained, but you are still at some level of society. No, no, no. It does not matter your education. That's not what you have here, what you have here. You have sometime these struggles. And I know different artists and that are black coming out of the Arabic world have different opinion than me, but
Okay.
and it's okay. But one thing that I can say is that at least in the Arabic world, people are still cordial with you to your face. In America, not so much. I've experienced racism much harsher than what I'm used to. And learning a lot about Black American people, history. Whew. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's and within our diaspora, we have many struggles. Many of us have not struggled. Many of us have struggled. But to speak from the struggle of the people, it's real and it's prominent and it's still going on today. For me, some of my struggles, I can only speak from my experience. I was And like I said, I live the rest of my life here in America, so this is my American experience here. I was told I am too black to be dancing. It's like, yeah, I've been black all my life. I didn't just turn black yesterday. My skin didn't just get black yesterday. I've been black all of my life. I know this way. It's, I've been told, it's interesting, and I don't ever call dancers out versus in, call out. It's all the same. I don't do this cancer culture stuff. I don't do that. I try to handle things as it comes to me, but I will tell a brief story of a local dancer that hired me for a Valentine's Day show in an Indian restaurant. I will tell you that. Indian restaurant. And the owner, he came in and he saw me and he had this puzzled look on his face. He was like, what? Like, what the heck? Like, just kind of like, what? And so next thing you know, skirt, my music cut. Khalas. End. Finish. And I'm dancing, the people are clapping, and I'm like, time out 1 second. Let me see what's going on with my music. Maybe I didn't charge my iPod at the time. Maybe something happened. And so the owner was just like, oh, we don't need you anymore. Your show is done. Your dancing is finished. And I said, this is just only my second song. I said, I have another 30 minutes within an hour's time to go. So I was splitting it up in 15-minute increments. So because they had multiple dancers coming in throughout the night to keep people entertained. So I said, what's going on? So he goes, okay, we're finished, and he's literally like trying to like push me to like get my stuff and get out the door. And I'm like, whoa, first, no touch, okay?
Yeah.
For why you turned my music off, for what reason? And he just said, we are finished, we're done dancing, we're not gonna have any more dancing tonight. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna change and I'll come back and get payment. And he just kind of like looked at me like, payment? Like, oh gosh, no. He kind of gave me this look. So, went to go change, texting the girl that booked me for this, like, what is going on? She did not answer. So, moving forward from the story, he ended not paying me. He argued with me and said that he was out of checks. There's nothing he can do. And I said, well, do you have cash register? He goes, we have no cash here. I said, well, can you make ATM? There's ATM right outside of your place. Like, you can go make ATM from your card, your check card. No, I don't have. And I'm like, okay, so when can I expect to be paid? Because I showed up and I did the work. He goes, oh, well, excuse me. Well, you can talk to the dancer that's booked you, and you're going to get payment from her. This was a very long time ago. I was very new to the restaurant scene. And so I said, oh, God, this is not okay. My first thing I learned about professionalism, you always get payment before you wrap up. Unless something really, like you have a relationship where you are on, like, maybe you get a payment every 2-week check system, which I rarely hear. That kind of thing happens in belly dancing shows. Because you always get payment at the time that you are rendering your dancing. So, to move forward, weeks went by, like 1 week went by, 2 weeks went by. And so finally I called the dancer and I said, hey, did you not get my message, my text message? And she goes, oh yeah, we can talk about it, come over. And it was like this whole ordeal. And I said, okay, I can come over and try to get my check from you. So she had the check in her hand like this, and she goes here, and she like crumbled it and like put it in my hand, and I was like, what is going on? This is just so strange. Like, the whole behavior was so strange. And then I opened the check and I look, and the check was like for way less than half of the amount that I was promised to be paid. And I said, but this is not what we agreed on. And she goes, the owner just didn't like your dancing, Khadija. And I said, okay, that's fine. but I still showed up and I still did the work. What happened? So she absolutely refused to tell me the truth. So we had a common best friend at the time. The best friend at the time told me exactly what happened, that Chris was racist and he didn't want black dancers in his restaurant, flat out. That my dancing was fine. When he saw me, he was appalled that I was a black dancer dancing in his restaurant. So the moral of this story is that not only did this occur with me, but she also went back and hired another black dancer and put her in danger as well. But this dancer was significantly lighter than me, but she was still a black woman. So she still put this woman in danger and still put her at risk of this way. So I went home that night and I thought, wow, is this really what the dance community is about? Is this really how dancers network? So I really had to take some time and think what really brought me back to this dance, what really keeps me inspired into this dance, because I was deflated. I was very sad
Sure.
at that point. And I said, you know, Khadija, I'm young and this is going to keep happening. This is going to keep happening. And I have to be prepared. I have to be strong for these things, because there are people out there that don't like people like that don't like my features. And that's okay. I like my features. You know, so that was kind of the thing. That was kind of the thing that was very eye-opening for me. Even someone I considered to be a really good friend didn't tell me the truth. If she had said, you know, Khadija, I didn't know he was racist. I am sorry. You know, and so I would have said, okay, I understand. This is not your fault. But now it became her fault because she now brought in another dancer of color and put her at risk. And so this is one of my many stories. I have many stories. We will be here, oh my God, for a long time, and I'm sure people would want to hear more things. But you know, that's one of the stories that has affected me. But I now take this behavior and I make it build me into a better person. I had it to build me into a better person, because it had nothing to do with me. It was everything from this individual that was outwardly racist and didn't know how to deal with it. So this is for him to do the work, not me. But for the most part, I would say people enjoy what I do. I don't worry about haters. I don't worry about people disliking my color anymore, because it's not that problem is not for me. This is for them to solve.
Absolutely. And so I'm so glad that you didn't let it get to you. I mean, I'm sure it gets to you, but it didn't make you stop dancing. And that's thank God for that. What do you think?
Because I have many encounters
Sure.
that could have like shut me down right away, but nope, builds me up.
Good. You're a strong woman, and
I try.
thank God for that. What do you think needs to happen in our dance world in respect to the racism and, you know, providing a space, a platform for dancers of color?
You know, a great place to start would be by talking to us and communicating with us, and get this fantasy out of the mind that blonde hair and blue eyes is the standard of beauty, like everywhere. No, it is not the standard of beauty. Everyone has their own standard of beauty, but if dancers gave dancers like me an opportunity, or dancers that look like me opportunities, I think this will help a lot of this fantasy that's going on in people's minds. Because because it's interesting, because there are some very ignorant people out there that actually think that Arabic people or people of Middle Eastern culture are not dark or cannot be black. It baffles me. It's like,
Yeah,
really? Just like I see some people that are very white, red hair, green eyes, but they're Arabic too. Just, just like Arabic people are not monolith also, just like people of the African diaspora, we are not just a monolith. We have various ways and culture that we have, that we come from, and people don't understand, because I think when people get out of their stereotypes, and when people get out of their mentality of what they think a person should look like, this is the education is first. People have got to educate themselves first on or of other people coming from these regions. Like it's all about that. It truly is about that type of education.
absolutely, absolutely. And it always makes me laugh when people go, what's the Khaliji rhythm? Like there's one rhythm, right? There's not like a gazillion rhythms. And once you really start listening to the music and then the variety and richness of just rhythms in the Gulf,
Oh,
if you can't see a connection between that and Africa, the Gulf and Africa, just based on the rhythms, then I I
yeah,
don't know how to make it any clearer.
it's been an ongoing battle, trying to get people to open their eyes that Khaliji just isn't one style. That we have folklore inside of folklore inside of folklore.
Yeah.
That oh, let's play Khaliji rhythm. Well, what's that? Are you playing Khobaiti? Are you playing Adani? Are you playing Basrawi, or are you? What are you playing? Maybe outside of the Gulf, Basta. Are you playing? What are you playing? Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
what do you want to know? Like, what do you want to hear? Because we have lots. That's just like saying, I need you to play me Egyptian rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, Baladi, Falahi, Saidi. What do you want?
And
So,
many more beyond that for sure.
oh,
What
yeah.
tell us what you're working on these days. What do you have coming up dance wise?
Oh boy. I have I'm always working in something. I will give you little snippets of things. I have some big festivals coming up. So not only for this towards the ending of this year, but also for next year. So I'm revamping a lot of my programs. I'm really trying to gear things into musicality specifically.
Great.
I'm really bringing out a whole lot more folklore than the average of what people have seen, because it's time that people need to see more than just what's common. So I'm starting to bring out more difficult rhythms. I'm starting to bring out more difficult styles, especially on the level that everybody can understand. So you don't necessarily have to be in the belly dance community. You can be in the music community. This is something for everybody. So even if people was curious about the KSA and really wanted to know more about certain regions of KSA, like I'm trying to make it inclusive for everybody, not
Right.
just for for dancers per se. So I'm busy working on revamping some of these programs. And of course, I'm always in the dance studio, actively refining my own technique, and just outside of Khaliji, because I want people to know me beyond Khaliji, because I do more than just Khalij folklore.
Of course.
I am no one trick pony. Like I said, I am very versed in multiple styles outside of my culture that I highly respect, that I travel and I study directly with the local people. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy for the opportunity I've had to do that. But I'm always studying with people from the culture, and I'm always studying with various people on just various topics. So I have a whole lot in the mix right now. So I'm just pulling back a little bit this summer. So sorry if you send me a message on Facebook. I promise I'm going to get back to you. I promise. People that know me, I am slow to work with, but believe me, I'm going to bring you something really good. I'm going to bring you something very special. So if you hang with me, I promise. But the rest of the summer, yes, the rest of the summer, I'm just really decompressing and focusing on my own dance technique right now. And with that dance technique, I am refining many programs. So you'll see later in the year, there are several festivals that I am involved with, as well as 2022. Wow, it feels weird saying this.
No.
Is next year. So I'm bringing some good stuff next time. So
I can't wait. And I know everybody out there can't wait to see what you bring. I'm
yes,
sure it's going to be amazing.
thank
And,
you.
you have to take that time for yourself.
Yes.
We think that, being a performer, being a dancer, it's a constant promotion and constant, being out there and making stuff happen. But, you got to take some time for yourself
I
also.
mean, exactly. Those that know me, when I cut off time, I cut off time because, like I said, I have many hobbies. Like I said, I have many hobbies. People wouldn't think that I do. I love, on the weekends when I have free time. I love to take my 4x4 in the mountains and go into the mud, splashing everywhere. I love this. I love doing archery. I love being with the horses. I love horseback riding. I will, go hiking a lot. I love to spend time in nature. This is where I get my ideas. I love the gym. I love working out. I know everybody that knows me know nothing comes in the middle of gym time, maybe except to stop and pray, but nothing comes in between my gym time. So this is my escape, and I love having other projects outside of the dance world because, for me, I love my dancing, but there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance.
Absolutely. And I see so many dancers now that go like, I dance this one style and I only watch dancers that do this style and this kind of music. It's like, being a well-rounded person makes you a better artist, no matter what your artistic style is.
It truly
And
does. It truly
and so I just want to let people know that I will post your website
sure.
in the comments of the YouTube video. So keep if you're not already following Khadija on social media, you should be, and check her website for all of the great things that she has coming up. And
Yes,
later, I hope.
and I have to admit, I've been really bad about not updating, but this is in the works, so I promise I am updating. I promise.
Good. And when you get a chance, Khadija, there's some great comments of people showing you love here in the YouTube comments, so check those out. And someone asked a question for you to answer, which is, what makes a dance especially memorable and moving to you?
Ooh.
I know that's a tough one.
That brings tears to my eyes, honestly, because I get emotional when I think of a dancer that is really moving. To me, it's not about a dancer that can show tricks. Anybody can do tricks. Can you feel the music? To me, what is most moving is a dancer that's taken the time, the effort, and the heart to learn a dance, not from her culture. She don't speak the language, she don't understand, but she grasped the idea and she studied with the people and she learned this way from the ground up. She learned with like a child that's like an open book, like a sponge. They want to absorb everything. And when this dancer takes this information, this priceless information that she has not only learned the movement, anybody can learn movement, but can you feel that movement? Can you feel that music? Can you feel that? Can you tell me a story about this music? I don't care about your Sahar Akasha. I love her costumes, very expensive. I don't care about your Louis Vuitton. I don't care about the Audi you drive. Can you tell me a story when you get on this stage? Like, I am so moved by dancers that can just feel the music and translate this feeling in their body and send it to you in the audience. To me, wow. Like, wow, I know she doesn't understand all of these words, but she took time to study. She took time to study with someone that knows this, like, to the heart, you know? So to me, that moves me. Like when I see a dancer, I don't care how many chest locks and circles you can do. I don't care. I don't care how nice your boobs are. I don't care how good your highlight look, your lashes look, your extensions. Okay. You can get on stage with a brown paper bag, a plastic grocery bag, and you show me some movement that's like, ooh, I'm floored. I am literally floored at dancers that could take a piece of music and translate it into their body and send that energy out to me. Wow, mashallah. You have
I'm
my respect.
I'm with you on that one 100%. Absolutely, the
Yes.
feeling, and telling your own story and not copying all the
Exactly.
other
And
dancers out there.
that's another thing is that we see many copies. We see
Hmm.
many copies. And when I first came out into this dance world, I thought nobody gonna want to see hair, nobody they're gonna want to see long sleeve. And I keep thinking to myself, every single dancer I see, whether I think she's amazing or bad, I still learn something. There's
Yes,
always something you can
yes.
learn in any dancer. I don't care if she is master teacher, like it doesn't matter to me. I don't care if she has been taking classes for 8 weeks. You want to show me something? You want to teach me something? I would love to learn from any source. Excuse me, I can get the information. I can learn from any source. And I think dancers, we have to be careful when we get caught up in this master teacher. For me, I don't consider myself a master teacher because every day I'm learning something. Even in my own culture, I am learning something. Every day. Every day. Wow, I didn't know that. Oh my God, this rhythm. Oh wow, I forget this beat. Oh my God, I didn't know. And I could watch a dancer nobody even heard of, or people say, oh, her technique is bad. Oh, like her costume is ugly, or people saying bad things. And I'm like, wow, look, this girl shimmies. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to contact her and I want to learn from her because I like her way. I like her technique because people get caught up, well, oh my God, I studied with the biggest dancer in Egypt. Okay, but what about this Egyptian woman staying in her home, working 9 to 5 every day, taking care of her
Hmm.
children? She know how to dance too.
Oh
Why not?
yeah.
Why
Oh
not?
yeah. And
Education, education,
I'm
education.
sorry.
No, sorry. I was just saying education, education is education.
Absolutely. And first of all, I think we could stay here all night talking about everything.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know if you have this problem. I know I have it as a person who has grown up as a dancer. I have a hard time sometimes teaching or communicating what I do. People are like, how do you do that? I don't know. Follow me and just try to figure it out. Like, do you find that you have a hard time sometimes communicating what you do because it's natural?
No,
Thank
no,
God.
no. I feel I'm really bad about promoting myself or advertising myself or even talking about myself. But one thing I can do, I can explain something. As a scientist and an artist, which I am a balance of both because science and art is like this. It's like this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, there's no such thing as a hard subject. It's all who relays your information.
True.
You can take calculus part 3 with analytical geometry. You can tell me, okay, Khadija, what is y equals mx plus b? What is the slope of this slant in this line of this line? If you understand something, you can do it. You do it from your point of understanding. And if somebody doesn't understand, okay, so what do we do? If so, you try to explain what you're trying to do is you try to, if they will allow you, let them point on your body where you want to execute the movement. Okay, so anybody can learn movement, but the toughest thing for me is what I feel is getting people to understand the feeling. So when I
True.
tell people, people are like, when I listen to Khaliji music or when I listen to Arabic music, I don't like it. Why you don't like it? Because they say when I listen to it, I don't understand. I said, okay, what is the melody telling you? What is the drum telling you? What does her voice or the feeling in her voice is telling you? I don't know. Okay, so think about something that make you feel good. If you hear a song that make you feel good, think of your dog. Think of your love. Think of your cat. Think of your husband or your wife or something you really love. Think about your family. Think about something you love dearly. Put that feeling into your body. Things change. So I think people get caught up on things that are different from what we have been taught. People think that things are always like this, but no, it's not always like that. Sometimes, especially in belly dance. But I
true.
always tell people to close your eyes. I've even taught a class with eyes closed. And I've told my students, I say, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about something that feels good. Like, don't think about your work. Don't think about any stress. Because women, we do this all the time. I say, think about something that make you feel very good. Close your eyes. And dramatically, instantly, they started dancing differently because they changed their mind. They start thinking, okay, this is not too hard. If I just relax, concentrate on feeling good and putting the movement into your body. Like it first starts with from your relaxation and where your mindset is. Because if your mind and your heart are in two different places, in my opinion, it's hard to translate the movement to your audience. It's hard to translate the feeling to your audience from your body.
100%. I'm absolutely with you on that one.
Yes.
What's your dream as a dancer and an artist, or what's your goal? What do you want to see happen?
Excuse me. My dream, my ultimate dream is I want this dance space, if I could have it my way. Excuse me. I want this dance space to be more inclusive. I want this dance space to be more loving. I want this dance space to stop excluding, excuse me, people that are different. I want people to start understanding. I want people to start being tolerant, more tolerant with each other. And this all starts in our own communities, even starting from our communities in Arabic countries. Start being a little bit more inclusive. This is black, this is white. It's everywhere. I want people to stop this black, white. I want people to stop, oh, she has large body. Oh, he's gay. Or he looks like a woman. Or he dancing like a woman. For what? Dancing is for everybody. Dancing is for everybody. And nobody should ever be excluded from this. Nobody should ever be told you are too black to be dancing. Oh, your hair is too African to dance. Or, your boobs are way too big for that costume. Or, why are you wearing makeup? You're a man. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Everybody is made different. Everybody has a right to be dancing. Everybody has a right to have a seat at the table. everybody has a right to express themselves. Because specifically for me, you want to get to know me, watch me dance. Watch me dance. People
Yes,
have
yes,
many
yes.
misconceptions about me, but I am not who people think I am when they meet me in person.
Mhm.
But to get back to the original question, I want to see more inclusiveness into the community because there's so many things that have gone too far. I want people to start listening. If somebody is offering you advice, even though you may differ opinion, you can learn something from everybody. I want people, dancers, to get into the mindset of learning. We are never, you take 2 year of classes, all of a sudden you're a master teacher. No, no, no. Learning is cyclic. It's continuous thing. And the
Absolutely.
only way we're gonna grow as a community and grow as dancers if we stop this mentality of I know everything, Khalas, no, I am everything. No, we learn something from each and every dancer, regardless she dancing 60 years or 6 weeks. We learn something from everybody. So we need
Yes.
this inclusiveness in our community.
And as I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, we have to talk more about this. Like, there's so much more on this topic, and so we're gonna address this in more detail, at a future time. Uh, and I have one more question before I let you talk about whatever else you want to talk about.
Okay.
What do you, Khadija, the dancer, how do you want to be remembered? Like 100 years from now, if people look back at that dancer, Khadija, what do you want people to remember you as or for as an artist?
Wow, that's deep.
Mhm.
That's really a deep question. I really want to. First of all, I don't want to be known as just a dancer. I want to be known as an educator of the arts surrounding Afro-Arabic culture. I want to be one of the people. I want to be. I want my niece. I want any black child, any dark child that look like me can say, "Mommy, Daddy, I can do this." I want to make sure that they have a seat at this table as well. I want to make sure that every child coming from the African diaspora and indigenous cultures can have an opportunity and didn't have to fight so much. I want them to have ease. I want them to be receptive with love. This is my dream. This is why I work so hard and I'm tired endlessly because I want people that look like me to be able to have opportunity with ease, that there's never any pushback. I want to be remembered as a person that has helped because there's many of us. So I help co-pilot to pave the way for indigenous dancers, dancers of the culture, black dancers, to have an ease and opportunity without any fight.
That is beautiful. And I am with you on that. And you know that I support you and I support that cause. And part of that reason is why I'm doing this. And any way I can help or support, you can always call on me. And hopefully in our lifetime, we keep working at it. We're going to see
Inshallah.
some progress, inshallah, right?
Inshallah.
What did I not ask you that you want to tell us about?
Um, well, two things. I wanted to mention about the two workshop series
Yes.
that's happening towards the end of the year after I kind of have some downtime because July is my birthday month, actually.
Woohoo!
So, so I am going to do a lot of self-care, which I'm going to talk about briefly in just a little
Yeah.
bit. Um, I'm a part of the Colombian Menath Festival. It's happening in September 11th and 12th. It's going to be hosted by Maria Isabel Angel in English. So if you want to come to that, I do believe it's going to be hosted online. She's having various teachers, of the Minath region that's going to come. And also Nawara of Morocco. I love her. I
Yeah.
love her. Oh my God. And Peniota Bakis of Greece. Love her also.
Yeah.
And so with the Oriental Mosaic is happening October 9th and 10th. And we are teamed up with an amazing dancer from Bahrain named Sharifa. I cannot believe I got this opportunity because Sharifa is working actively very hard also to preserve Gulf dances specifically from Bahrain.
Wow.
I'm getting
Can't wait for that.
thinking about this. Yes, so it's going to be October 9th, 10th. There's many festivals happening, excuse me, around this time. But Sharifa has so much to offer also. She is native of Bahrain. Wow. I cannot believe I have this opportunity to meet her. She is an amazing Bahraini ethnologist and dancer, and she has many things to offer. And I'm so happy. These two are the main festivals. I have many local things that I'm doing here. If people want to know things on the local aspect, I'm happy to talk about that from email. But I have many things coming up for 2022. So check Facebook. Most importantly, I am going to update my website. I promise you. I promise you. Promise you, I'm working on it. Give me a chance. I'm slow, but I bring you something good. But yes, those are my two biggest events that I'm working towards. We were mentioning about dancer self-care during this time. I know everybody everywhere is going through something. We are all dealing with type of stresses in our life, and I know for me, when I have too many things on my plate, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? It's too much, you know. And I just want to tell dancers during this time, no matter, what life is throwing at you, no matter what somebody is saying about you, no matter how somebody is criticizing about you, it's always okay to take time. It's always okay to pull away. It's always okay to make time for yourself. As a dancer, this is very important. I know some dancers around the world, they're dancing 6, 7 times in a week, every night, every night in the week, and wow, I can only imagine how having downtime is very hard. The power of no is amazing. Those that know me know the power of no is amazing. I don't hesitate to say no because sometimes we have to pull back a little bit. And for me, self care is dancing for myself. Self care is like reflecting on those gigs that I'm like, this is what keeps me dancing because I've come very close to leaving the dance community as a whole. Especially with recent matters, and I would say coming out of the American belly dance community. And I don't promise myself I didn't want to bring this energy to face on that, so I'm not going to put much energy towards that. But almost right around this time frame, I was like, for why I continue. And once again, I had to hear my mama's voice, and I had to reach deep down in my heart and think, I need this dance because this dance has saved my life. And I owe it to this dance because it's done so much for me to keep going. And so I encourage other dancers to keep going as well. No matter, I'm giving you my mama's wisdom. They throw dirt on you, you grow them flowers. They throw bricks at you, you build them a house.
Yes.
So no matter because it doesn't matter. It does not matter what people they throw at you. They throw them some love back. Trust me, you're gonna get more hasanat. You're gonna get more blessings when you throw nice to them and they throw bad at you, it's okay. It's okay. It has nothing to do with you. Take care of you first.
Wise, wise words from a wise woman. And we are so fortunate to have you. And I know how you feel, because there are lots of times that I'm like, what am I doing this for? I'm out of here. It's too much of a headache. But you know, our dance form needs you and needs what you offer and what you teach. And you know, I'm glad that you're sticking around for us. And you know, it's such a treat to get to talk to you. Like I said, we could keep talking for hours and hours and
I
hours, but
know.
I think
know.
it's,
I love to talk.
you know, I think we're at a point we need to bring this one to a close, but I don't think this is going to be our, you know, our last conversation online. So please subscribe to my channel, stay with me,
Of course.
follow me on social media for more, you know, really insightful conversations like the one we had today with Khadija.
Thank you.
So Khadija, thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and your experience, and you know, many, many blessings to you, and I look forward to a lot more. So everybody tune into Khadija, go to her social media, go to her website and support her and her work, because if we're not supporting her, she can't continue to do these kind of things that she offers for our community. So
Thank
you
you.
know,
Thank you so
please.
much. Thank you. Shukran. Jazakallah khair. Al
And
shukr. Thank you so much for having me here and listening on this platform. And, you know, I always say everybody is busy. Everybody can be doing something with their time, but they
yeah,
decide to spend time with me. And wow, I can't thank you for that, because time, we cannot get time back.
for
Money,
sure.
you can get back. Time, you cannot get back. So thank you for
Yeah.
spending this time with me today.
And happy early birthday. When's your birthday? What day?
July 24th.
Ah, you're the day after me. I'm July
Ah,
23rd. So
okay.
yay, deals. Woo!
Yes.
Enjoy your month of July and self-care.
Inshallah.
And
Inshallah.
enjoy your birthday, and we look forward to much more from Khadija. So
Allah.
thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time and support, and masalama. Thank you.
Salam. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Khadija, stay on for just a moment.